Tim Hamilton, Planning and Zoning. Today I've got a case CUP 2503, and this is consideration of a conditional use permit to allow the establishment of a retail ag seed facility on a 2.8 acre parcel located in section 13, township 13, rank 1, at the request of DR Seed Company. And on September 18th, the Planning Commission recommended in a 5-0 vote to approve the application with the following conditions. Any outdoor lighting be shielded or aimed away from the adjacent residential uses, driveway entrance, lighting will be accepted. Consult with environmental services for well and septic installation. Address for this site must be assigned prior to operation. Any additional construction, if anticipated, requires a building permit. Facility to sell seed only with no fertilizer or other product. And the commission can either approve with these conditions or any additional conditions you may deem necessary or deny the request. The main questions that came up from the public were, I think one of the questions was answered at the meeting, and the public was okay with it, was whether or not he would actually just be selling seed or the additional fertilizer or anything else, and they were concerned about the safety aspect of it. And he said it's just strictly going to be seed. And the other issue that came up was road, I think the road maintenance, and that portion of Eden Road has trouble spots on it, and so they were concerned about truck traffic. But based on what the applicant has, submitted and what the Planning Commission determined, that it's really, they don't anticipate heavy truck traffic being an issue on that portion of the road. But even if it were, I mean, it would be one of those things where we could just require them, the applicant, to enter into some sort of road maintenance agreement with the township in the future if that ever becomes a problem. So if you have, I'll have any other questions. It was pretty straightforward. And I spoke with the township, Trevor Martin, their superintendent. I talked to him, and he didn't seem to think there was an issue with it. So township seems to be okay with it. So.
Tim, this may not be pertinent to this CUP, but what brand of seed is that? Or is it?
Well, DR Seed is the company. I don't know what brand they're selling.
I'm just curious because there's a lot of different seed companies, and some producers like certain Ford or Chevy, for example, like cars.
He specified things like he just said grass seed, and there's going to be some other types of seed as well for that would be related to farm operations.
I don't really have any questions for you. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. You guys got a couple, I know exactly where it is. I know the guy. He's got a couple sheds. He's wanting to start a seed company and sell some seed. Well, I wouldn't knock that. I want more of that. So
now it's state regulated, right?
I believe
the seed is inspected.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have to follow whatever this
right. Okay.
If he did want to expand though and get into fertilizer, is that something he would the property owner would come back to you, a business owner, and request that in another permit?
Yeah, to amend this CUP would have to be amended.
I would hate to restrict the guy from growth, so if he ever could do that, I would, if he's listening, not that we wouldn't allow it, just got to make sure it's safe.
I think he's going to be here at 11.
He's going to be here at
11 when you have the hearing.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
So if it were a minor expansion where, say in 5 years, he wants to add another building,
he could do that.
he could do that and wouldn't really have to go through the process because it's the same purpose.
As long as it's incidental to what he's doing, it's fine.
Mhm.
But if he's like selling other products that would, like I say, fertilizer that might require some additional regulation or something, then he would have to come back through me. But if he just wants to build a shed or something for additional storage or product that's related to the seed, we can do that without any problem.
Just pull a building permit and go through the process.
And since, what, it's an existing building, some of it, so the classification as far as appraisal value would change since it's retail and not a. Here's
Lisa's gonna be up here at 10 to do the department briefing, so we'd have to check and see if it goes to commercial or if it's still ag use with what he's doing, so. But we can certainly ask.
Yeah, let me know.
Well,
that
should be
answer.
aware of it and could have whatever regulations applicable.
Right.
We can ask Lisa that question. Then.
Mhm.
Well, I guess that would be in here too. We're gonna zone it one commercial, residential and ag. There's, is that just the adjoining properties that you're talking about there? It says north, south, east, west.
No, those are just existing. That's just to tell you what the existing conditions are. around
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
What's there.
okay. I guess that would be the question. Would we rezone this commercial? Is that what the CUP is doing?
No.
Okay,
That's up to the appraiser to do that.
gotcha. Okay. So that would be a question for Lisa.
Yep.
Okay.
How large is this lot?
So,
It's got 2.8 acres total, a little less than 3. He does have a septic on there, and it was inspected, I think, but, and I think Environmental Services said that it was, I talked to them about it, they said, yeah, that went in less than a year ago, so it should be good. So,
great. You got a question? Pretty straightforward, Tim. Thank you.
Rose.
Oh,
I don't know what she's up to. We can wait 20 minutes or if you want to see if she's ready.
Yeah, I can see if she is. That's not a problem.
Up to you guys. I don't know if we, any comments we got.
Questions on the petition from Cheever Township for minimum maintenance or on the Logan Township?
Why don't we bring those up?
Okay.
Should start with the first one.
So we received you've received a petition from Cheever Township Board requesting that you declare a section of 3500 Avenue between Jeep and Hawk Road as minimum maintenance. And this is the first step of the process to do that. So,
You got up close real quick.
yeah, so what we'll do, or what I'm asking you to do, is to declare or set a, let me find my 3500 Avenue. Come on. A hearing date. There we go. I know, but my map doesn't want
Want to do it? Oh, yeah. Well, maybe don't pull it up.
Well, I'll keep trying. So we'll have to set a hearing date and get it published in the paper. And tentatively, what I'm looking at just for timing is setting it for November the 6th, which will be, that gives them plenty of time to get it published. Wake up here, computer.
So this would set that petition in motion to have the hearing,
Yeah, it'll,
and then anybody who was opposed or for would come in at that.
yes, at that time. And then it'll just be declared as minimum maintenance. You know, Cheever Township is decided that it's only used occasionally and not by enough individuals. So it doesn't behoove them to continue to maintain that road to above a minimum maintenance as a gravel road. So it just doesn't make sense for them to do that. It's costing them money. So they decided that this would make the most sense. And this is our first step to declare that.
It takes them off of liability too, correct?
Yes.
Somebody travels
But
and,
somebody will still,
okay.
you know, it's still possible, but if somebody does travel, then.
You know, this is a really dumb question here. Some of those minimum maintenance roads aren't used anymore. Can they fence them?
No, because it's still a roadway. It's just a minimum. So if they vacate it, that is different.
And a vacate is what takes them. So,
Yes.
okay.
We talked about on those, we could put a the guardrails if we did want to do that. I think we talked about
Yeah,
that.
we did talk about
To
that.
keep people up and so we don't have the issue.
Yeah.
It's not allowed now access on it.
Yeah, liability.
Yes. You'll have,
So this is a mile of road, I take it.
it is, yes.
I assume between
Jeep and
Jeep
Hawk.
and Hawk.
Yeah. I could, there we go, maybe.
I think it'd be nice just to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our map over there, but it'd be nice to have it up here.
Yeah, nobody else can see.
Close out of there.
It's just me. Maybe Lynn. I see it. It doesn't even go all the way to.
Actually, 2 miles. Get this over here. Oh, here's 3500 Avenue. And there's Hawk. And there's Jeep. I think it's going to start right here. In this area, yeah, and then head. It is on the west side of Hawk, the west side of Jeep to the west side of Hawk.
Anything to add to that?
Yeah, this just to start the process, so. And then Jennifer received the letter for the Logan Township clerk resigning, so. And I don't know if they have, they're in the process of finding somebody, but they have never declared anybody yet, so.
There's a clerk to be paid.
Township officers can be paid, yes.
Okay.
And they set that themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me tell you the one for Buckeye doesn't. Taylor, isn't that Taylor?
Yeah. Yes, I think that's right, yeah.
Trip.
Yeah.
We just got it. I see that it happened a while ago, yes, but literally just got it last week.
Yeah.
That happened.
Well, no, now I'm wondering like, that just based on the content of the letter.
Yeah.
They can't get
I
along.
don't want to air it out, but
That's gonna be our guess, definitely. Yeah.
You have somebody that might want to do that, John? Anybody in that township?
in the bar,
What about you, Ron?
Pardon me?
Anybody in that township that might want to be a clerk for the
he's
township?
in,
I can't think offhand.
Oh,
Just,
or I mean, you could do, it's down there, you got,
No, it's up north.
Logan is.
Logan?
It's south of Enterprise.
it's in the bar.
Yeah, it is. That's right. Yeah, I don't know if there's somebody down there.
Scott thinks what's on there, he can do it.
Oh, yeah, he does, yeah.
I think he
Does he have time though?
Yeah, I don't,
Is he still on the EDC board?
yeah, I was gonna say, every time the board meeting, he's usually on the road, so,
Oh,
I doubt he has time.
Hoffman's going to bar.
mhm.
Yeah.
You know, those would be good little training jobs for high school kids, seniors taking, no, seriously, really trained in there.
Government class. or
Somebody to
something.
oversee them, but that's a good, you know, after school, I mean, they have time.
Looks like Barb's got a question.
You wanna play football or you
Yeah, I know. You're right there too.
wanna?
And we're gonna do books, whatever.
You're right. What, Barbara?
She said that Dan Wright might be interested in serving.
Okay.
Well, you know, the other thing on that.
See if she'd asked him for it. Schools, let Janelle
He's
know.
online, yeah.
Some of the
Oh, he's on there
scholarships and
too?
some of the
Yeah.
activities they
Yeah.
do, they have.
Dan, you said?
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan? New job?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you.
criteria.
Sure.
How does that work? Can we appoint them then?
Yeah.
They gotta be reelected, right?
Township has to submit their name and then you
You
go off
appoint
of
them.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, but they still have to give you a name. You can't just pick
Yeah.
somebody up and do that.
Gotcha. I don't know how that works.
And then, yes, depending on where they're at in the election process, then they would be on the ballot when the time comes.
Gotcha.
They'd just be filling an unexpired term.
Unexpired
until
term.
the next election.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think,
Clerk is next year.
yeah, clerks next year. And then didn't you, we still don't have one for.
Noble.
No. Well, but I thought there was one down south. too.
Treasurer though for Noble.
Isn't there one that for Lyle when he resigned?
Holland, he's Holland. Yeah, Holland don't have one too.
Yeah, so we've got three
Three.
open positions
Yeah.
right now on township boards. They're down to two. They don't have, Lyle was a trustee or,
I'm not so sure what his.
yeah, but he was one down there. So if anybody's interested, tell them to contact your township and speak to them about it, and then township can submit a name. And we'll get you on the roll.
I mean, following up on Ron's comment on students, they do for some scholarships or curriculum have volunteer or community service. So, I don't, you know, maybe that might be a little bit of a murder on something like that.
We can bring it up at township night next spring. We'll talk about it then. Say, hey, this is something to think about, to consider,
You
you know?
know, that, I mean, other than the older they are, the more likely they're ready to go to college or they've got, you know,
Right.
other things. And so sometimes they maybe wouldn't want to sign up with something where they'd have to be there a lot.
Mhm.
I'd rather do 3 hours and hit it hard and then be done with the activities.
Right.
It's nice to get our youth involved though, because
Right.
our times can get pretty quick. And, it looks good on a resume, especially when you apply for other things.
Mhm.
Anything else on that topic?
No, pretty straightforward.
Lisa, play up a little early. On the CUP 2503 today, we had a question from Commissioner Peterson on the zoning, of what that would get zoned to, being an ag seed location.
Well, and it might be something you need to do some research on, but
You don't have answers.
Okay, repeat your question?
On the CUP today, 2503, which is the CUP for a DR seed company, they want to set up a seed company to
Uh-huh.
sell seed.
Okay.
I'm just curious on if that would be rezoned or if that would stay ag or how that land would be zoned.
so what we understand is that it's just like a storage building or not an active building, not a retail type
If they're
on
not
less than 3
selling,
acres, but now with the CUP, if it would be approved, they're going to sell seed
they're
into the
selling
retail.
seed out of it, it will become a commercial property as a commercial class code, okay, or as a commercial class. The interesting thing is it will probably still appear because commercial and ag are sometimes listed in similar ways. They're both going to be a 25% assessment rate, but the class will be commercial. We'll just do like an override that class code to commercial if it is an income producing property, yes. So if they're doing sales out of it and having that as a business, it will be considered commercial. And I'll know more once I see it and what they're actually doing with it. But either way, ag and commercial are both a 25% assessment rate. Did that answer? Did you have any questions?
Well, it's, I sometimes like in the city, I think it makes a difference how much activity is going in and out of the door on what they have to do to make it a,
It is.
with the
based on-
regulations. Do they have similar regulations for,
It's definitely going to be based upon its use. I mean, if they're using that as their prime business
If
location.
it's a commercial use, which is separate, because a lot of times you'll have some instances where a property will be a commercial use, but it might be assessed differently, it might be
Correct.
assessed as something else. And so we have zoning and our regulations don't address that. That's just strictly, if you're retail and you're selling something out of there, then from our standpoint, that is a commercial type facility, even though you don't have, to add confusion, we got rid of our commercial and industrial zoning 20 years ago in county. The zoning that you're talking about now is the zoning that.
Yeah.
And ours is
Yeah.
classification.
So
That was yesterday.
that's why we have to have, like, when you go through, that's why you have to have a conditional use permit.
I think that was it. I didn't have much more questions. So.
we were just curious and,
Yep.
and so it got handed off to you. It's kind of like, well, we'll wait till the expert is here.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, let's not go there.
Well, we knew you would know. So,
It is definitely as of the use, and those uses do change. Those sometimes are, when we first go out and look, we know that they're doing business, we visit with them, we do list as commercial. Later on down the road, it could turn into just a simple storage and they don't do any business. And that's going to be definitely adjust that. Like I said, though, ag is still going to be 25% on that building, no matter if it's commercial or ag, or commercial or ag, sorry.
Makes sense. While we got you here, do you have, are you doing a department update
I
today?
am, yes.
Yeah.
Yay, okay. So just a few things. Our maintenance activities are now complete. So our 17% complete, it's now complete for the year. Building permits, our real estate appraisers have started that process in building permits as of yesterday. We are working on 310 permits, and that is including 52 for new dwellings. Our team does a great job tracking and documenting progress on each permit through our Orion system and also on detailed spreadsheets. So these permits are really reflecting growth in our county, which is very positive.
Question on that. So is that 52 red houses, new houses? being
New
built?
houses and some duplexes. There's a couple, or other duplexes also.
Right up here, yep. Does that count the apartments as well?
That was last year.
So that wouldn't reflect on
Correct. That was
this?
already done last year. So yes.
Wow.
It's
Good
a
growth.
lot. So, yeah, they started yesterday and that's going good. Or they added some yesterday, some new homes yesterday. Sales validations, as of August 31st, we have received 436 SVQs for the year. 190 of those sales are considered valid and will be considered in our different analysis that we're doing. Completed studies. So far, I've got the neighborhood and land analysis completed, residential, mobile home, manufactured homes, and commercial depreciations. Market ag land analysis is also completed. Our dry land per acre for market land value this year for dry land is 3,300 an acre. Grassland is 2,600 an acre. And I have set the irrigated acre at 4,000 an acre. Since we didn't have sales, I just kind of do a in between there. All of those results have been submitted to PVD. They definitely do a review, make sure that we are following all the guidelines and not making errors in our studies. And we are ahead of schedule according to their PVD phase calendar. If you have any questions on that portion? Not really? Okay. Fall certification was completed September the 15th, and visited with Jennifer yesterday, and it sounds like everything is appearing to balance, which is always good. Current projects that we're working on, like I said, once September sales are validated, then I will begin an index study in our market modeling and should be able to update where values are headed to for 2026, probably in November is when I won't be here next week. I'll be in class. I always say our office is busy. This year is no exception. We strive to, I strive to give each of our employees a brief pause in between our intense projects. Sometimes that helps with burnout and just need a few minutes just to regroup before we start the new phase. I do have to acknowledge their achievements. They work hard and they're dedicated to doing the best job possible. Their jobs are not easy at all. They handle conflict with grace and patience and deserve a pat on the back for what they do endure. I am just very proud of our team and their efforts. Just don't want that to go unnoticed. They do a fantastic job. Do you guys have any questions on that?
At least I do have another question going back to the ground
Sure.
prices for dry land and irrigated and
Yes.
grassland. What do you have anything on recreational ground?
Not, are you referring to like hunting ground? Okay, so that is something that if it sells as ag land, it's going to be considered ag land, okay? However, I noticed this year, and I was thinking of you when I was doing it this year, some of the prices that we get per acre are just
Crazy.
anomalies. I mean, yes, it's like, it is something that's an outlier. I don't even put that in our studies. I kind of do an appraisal judgment and say, this is something bizarre. We put those out, just so you know, that is not factored into this.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
I know we were coming at it from a different direction, but I mean, that is the ultimate fear there, is that we're going to artificially raise
yes.
farmers' land evaluations and thereby their taxes because somebody was willing to pay outrageous amount of money per acre next door.
It's pretty
Or two people
obvious
wanted
to
it.
see that.
That can happen
Really,
too.
really wanted it.
It's pretty, yeah, you definitely, if you're trained to look at that, you look at those prices and you're going, no.
Yeah, it's a completely different.
Yeah.
It's completely different. It has nothing really to do with agriculture. It's completely recreation.
Yeah, I just toss those out as outliers and I don't
Yeah, that's right.
factor that in. That's my values.
The new dwellings, is there any we can get to tell us if these are coming into the county or existing residents? Don't want their names, obviously, but I'm just curious if they're new or not.
I don't
Following
know.
up on that, I mean, sometimes I'll receive questions or people will make comments and they'll say, well, with all of the housing that went in Abilene, the Mennonite housing up there did, and then they put their houses up for sale, but then there's also been many people come from another county or a rural area, so they'll say, well, how much is Abilene growing? What's the population?
Right.
And then they'll also question as far as the county population. So when will we get some of those calculations or estimates? I mean, I know they do different types of counts.
Right. So usually July is when they have the census count. So we'll have the population then. So, and I can look and see what it was. As for finding out how many people have moved in, if they are coming from out of county, that's not a question on our sales validation.
I figured it wasn't, but I didn't know if we could, any way we could figure that out. It's not a pertinent fact. It's just.
I don't even know if
It would indicate though, if we are, truly growing or if people are moving around. I think that's where Lynn's touching on too. That's what I'd like to know as well. Are we growing?
yes, yeah.
Right. And people moving around, which we encourage that too, move where you want to live, but
Right,
are we growing?
right.
And is our,
I don't even know if the real estate agents put any kind of report out like
I
that.
was gonna
So,
say, I have no idea as far as, we get splits, we get new homes, but I'm with you, I couldn't
Maybe
answer
we'll
if it's something.
wait for the census, then maybe that's the best way to
Yeah.
find out.
and I think our population grew a little bit. I've got it on my board in my office. And I'll look when we take a break and see what it is compared to last year. But yeah, that's a good question.
Regardless, it's growth because we either came from a rental or another house they owned and that house now went to somebody.
Yeah, and I don't know what the market is looking like for you, I think houses are selling, but it's not as fast as it was.
It's not as fast, but the sale prices are every bit as high.
High, yeah,
And so, I mean, and it's definitely that's the tipper there is what they're actually selling for and not how many are selling. It's the fact that we're still, under, yes. I had a chance last week, at the conference, which I was gonna talk about here in a minute, to visit with our director, our new director, which is Bob Kent. And, he was saying, which is what he actually said on our meeting as well, for across the state of Kansas, we're actually underappraised by the standards that we were supposed to be. We're closer to that 90, I want to say he said 96%. I think is what he said.
as an average.
Yes, and so, we're supposed to be between 90 and 110, so with that 1.0 being the best, so we're underappraised as a state as a whole, but it's probably better to be that than that.
You want to add something, Tim?
I was gonna say, if you want to, if the commission would like, when I give my update for my department, I can give you like the number of houses and the valuation of each of those houses with and if you would like me to do that. Now, that's just in the county, it's not in city. Obviously, it's but
I think it's useful.
Yes, information is always good.
I guess at the end of the day, with some, obviously running our services to completion and answering the calls, that's a big part of, I guess, a KPI for the county government. But I think growth is maybe another one.
Yes.
Are we growing? Or is this a place people want to move to? I think that's indicative of how well we're doing our job as well. So
I did count up some of the new homes that obviously then we'll probably bring up also in the north part of the county. And I just kind of draw like a line there just to do north and south to keep the maps, running smoothly. 27 of those homes are what are on the building permits in the northern part of the county. And so that's a big growth area there. We've got 8 in the southern part. 5, which that includes the duplexes here in Abilene. We had 2 in Harrington. We have 5 over in Sullivan that are, some of them are complete. So that just kind of tells you where the different areas of new homes are going in. Now, I say 52, those are on the books. That doesn't mean they'll all be done by January 1st. Sure. So.
And I've talked to more than one banker, a few of them that have said the activity, they're really unexpected, very, very active, lots going on, and considering what some of the prices are for building and what the interest rates are, that for whatever reason, people aren't holding back.
No, I'm almost feeling that some of our sales, what somebody is buying a older home for, you can almost turn around right now and just build your own and have it exactly how you want. And I'm thinking some of that is some of the mindset going on with people of why not just buy it? We have the land, let's build our own home right here instead of trying to locate to a different place, which again, then that might cause the not bringing new people into town also. That's just a thought we were talking about this morning on the way over.
believe it or not, it probably will though, because that gets them out of an old house. You might see a renter buy the house,
Yes.
and then you might see somebody come into rent. There's really a housing cycle.
Yes.
I don't think, the EDC, we talk about it in our housing committee a lot, but you kind of rent, you buy, then you retire, and typically you kind of either go back to renting or go live in a home, or usually downsize your home.
Sometimes.
Get to a single floor plan, or.
Yes, for sure.
So it's good, even if we're, obviously I want growth, I think we all do, but either way, this is great. But it would be nice to know. Just a little bit more.
That's great.
Maybe we could reach out to the Realtors Association and find out if they have an idea.
Yeah, I can do that.
Um,
So, any other questions on the office part? No, okay. So on a different note, I just would like to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to attend our International Association of Assessing Officers, or the IAAO conference last week. Your support enabled me to experience an event that was both inspiring and educational. The conference was outstanding, beginning with the opening speaker, John Dornbus, with approximately 1,700 attendees. We had 70 diverse sessions. Each morning started with a guest speaker that really set an enlightening tone for the whole day. It was just fantastic. There was a broad array of educational offerings, high quality, fantastic forum to engage with the appraisal specialists, not just across the United States, but globally. There were multiple sessions going on during the same time frame, obviously. So it was kind of difficult to choose which session to attend. So I know I missed out on some other fantastic discussions, but it was an experience. It was amazing. Returning from the conference, definitely some new motivation and some new areas of focus for the office that I wanted to do. Got some great ideas, and I'm sure it will benefit the department in future planning and training tasks as well. So once again, I just want to say thank you. Those opportunities are wonderful, and it's very appreciated that you allow that to happen. You guys have any other questions for me this?
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
Or anything else on there, so.
Anybody got anything they want to talk about?
Chances coming up.
It's always fun to hear from me. Chancy Smith, Dickinson County Emergency Management. First, I want to tell you, I got to go down to Wichita yesterday. We have a great commission chambers here. We did a really good job building this, but theirs is intimidating. It's big. It's a production when you go down there. So I was able to present some awards from our KEMA conference to some people in Wichita. Had to do it in front of their commission. Ooh, it's a production. Facebook Live, if you want to see it, you can watch it live. But I was going to talk about some disasters with you guys and give you a suggestion that I have. By no means is it anything we have to follow, but I really think it's going to be important in the years to come, seeing the trend of disasters that we've seen across the state, and that's funding after a disaster. They're talking about right now in Dickinson County, if we have a disaster, the threshold we have to make is $3.75 per person. And at 18,000 people, you can do the math, and it's right around $75,000, $80,000 we have to make before we're qualified for meeting our. They're going to raise that by $7 a person is what they're talking. So if that happens, we probably will never meet our threshold again for a disaster unless we completely wipe Abilene out or something.
And even then, that might be tricky.
And it would be nitpicked on. And that's how they're doing it now. Right now, after the flooding they had in Lincoln County and Ottawa counties, Ottawa County is just now this week able to get on some of the roads and do inspections because they were still underwater until this Monday from that flooding they had. Minneapolis or Ottawa County is expecting about $1 million in their county for bridges and roads and stuff right now. And they have 3 log cabins in their county that they need to get cleaned up. So they're expecting $1 million.
The state still has to meet their threshold too.
And Lincoln County just came up with this huge number. And I think they're going on that some of their bridges are going to need replaced. They have $4 million in theirs that they're like $5 million, which those 2 counties will make the state threshold and bail Salina out on some of their damage. So those 3 counties will be able to go together. But what's the chance we're going to have $1 million damage here? I don't think that's the one that's going to scare us. It's going to be the one that costs us $200,000 or $300,000, and we don't have anything in a savings account, or even $500,000. It doesn't make the state's threshold unless it's a long disaster that takes 4 or 5 counties and gives them damage. We have to make the state's $4 million ourselves before we get any help on funding for anything. So my suggestion is, I don't know. This is a hardest thing. But to put an emergency savings thing for like roads or bridges or something like that, because right now, Ottawa County's talking, if they can't fix stuff, we're gonna have to shut roads down. We're gonna have to, we can't open this bridge, because they've got spots that there's 3 foot of road missing before the bridge on both sides, that it just washed out, and the bridge is standing out there in the middle. And so they're like, is the bridge gonna be, you know, after a structural engineer gets there, we're gonna just pack the dirt back in there and the bridge will be fine? Or is it, you know, they're just in that state right now. And that also influences whether they're gonna be $1 million on that project or $150,000 on that project. So it's just really touchy, but I just want to put it out there that it's being really picked on, is it that damage? No, I think you can fix this, and they're not gonna fix stuff the way we want. So I'm just suggesting we make a emergency fund for disasters and just have it for that rainy day when tornado hits, because this could bankrupt the county if they have this kind of problem.
We've had some experience in the most recent disasters that we've had where the state has made some suggestions about declaring this road and this road and this road, and then it hasn't happened because they didn't meet their threshold. And then we had a tornado that happened in 2016 that damaged 52 homes across the state. FEMA would not give us any money for the repair or the removal of bridges in the rivers. Removal of debris in the rivers, because this can impact our bridges. So they just walked away from it. We worked with the conservation district and were able to get some funding for it, but we couldn't clean up everything that we needed to. So it's just one of those things that we have to keep in the backs of our minds and plan for, because we are going to have a disaster.
But right now, as the president of the State Emergency Management Association, I am going to Topeka, and I think we're going to try to make a trip to DC to see if they could rethink the way they do these things, because population-based disasters is the stupidest thing in the world. Because a small disaster impacts a small community 10 times worse than a big disaster affects a big community, because they have the funds and resources to take care of it. You know, if you go out to western Kansas and Sherman, Rawlins, and those counties on the border there, 3 counties is 4,000 people. They never make a disaster, yet they have a snow impact every year out there that shuts their roads. They have to fill shelters up, and it costs them tens of thousands of dollars a year to shelter people out there. That their communities have just grown it. We're never going to get paid for it, so we have to pay for this out of our pocket. And this is the expense we're going to have to get. But I think that's going to get worse before it gets better. But we're going to try to see if we can change the way they do it, and if they can take like the jurisdictions' funding mechanisms, how much is that county worth, and use that money or that a more fair way. I don't know how to say it, than just population, because like I said, do we want those communities to not exist? Because if we bankrupt a small community like that, it's going to be bad. So we're going to look for different ways to try to see if they can find someone much smarter than me to help us do that.
My initial response would be, I think that's what our carryover's for. Isn't that
It is used for
intention of carryover?
And that's,
I mean, I'm not trying to be a smart.
yeah, and that's touching base on what Chancey's saying. I think that's why we have that cash reserve.
Yeah.
And we set that every year, because that really, in essence, there for any emergency, and it could also be for anything that would come up in that year that would at least get to come to the commission. I think the emergency fund would make sense, but I think it's almost more or better probably to just continue to look at your cash reserve and make sure that we set that reserve into a level to where we are able to react to an emergency when needed. Because if you set it into if you set up a separate fund all by itself, you might have just stagnant dollars that sit there possibly for 10 or 15 years waiting for an emergency. But if we know that we're handling our funding properly and responsibly, and we make sure that we always have a cash reserve prepared and ready, that's something that we could utilize each year in that case. And that way you're not just having something sitting there where you've got a balance sitting there and, 10 or 15 years from now, someone goes, we haven't used those dollars for.
That's exactly where my brain went. When you're gone, we're gone. Someone could just look at that and go, well, what are we doing with that fund that's been sitting there for 20 years? Is it possible, and maybe we already have this, is it possible to set a policy that would state this amount of money has to be in the fund for emergency use only.
Yeah. And I think this would
In the
be-
event of a declared emergency from the emergency director, that's what this pool of cash reserve is. That amount would be set or dictated by percentage.
Well, and
maybe.
like when we did our disaster exercise, you guys tell the people down in the EOC, this is your spending limit. This is all you can spend. We need to do something different after you get to that amount. Once we've ordered task force or whoever we come in to help with search and rescue and that's expensive. If we're not gonna meet the threshold, it's our bill to pay. So then we can use that number and say, here's the threshold the EOC can spend on this disaster. And after that, we need to have a special meeting and find out what we're gonna do with that. I think that would be great policy.
And we could do the same thing with the highway, road and bridge, because like you said, if something were to come up with that, that's another fund that we want to make sure that we have those cash reserves, because when something does pop up unexpectedly in a year, it's very costly.
I'll tell you what scares me is the three bridges.
5 bridges, we have.
River bridges.
Yeah, over bridges.
Those scare me to death. I mean, one of those tumbled. And not to mention the potentially killing someone, but the cost. I mean, Sand Spring Bridge, I don't think we have enough money to replace that bridge.
We do
If
not.
we had to do that ourselves. I think we might reach the threshold at that point, but
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
it does, I need to think about it though.
It's something that, that's been on our minds for 20 years, what we need to do and how we're gonna do it too.
Barb Baird just asked a question online about our cash reserves and what the current amount was. Like in the last few years in the general fund reserve, we've been budgeting about $1.2 million, and that as a cash reserve. Technically, it's really amount that's not expected to be necessarily be spent that year. It can be at the commission's discretion if needed. And that's really the practice that we've been doing in the last few years, at least since I've been with the county. So just to answer your question now, obviously that carryover changes. That's just what we are budgeting each year to make sure that it's there. But then depending on how that year turns out and how expenses are, if we come in and we've spent significantly under budget, then we will have a higher carryover, and that will just fluctuate and adjust moving into that next year as we plan through that budget. So it's really kind of an ongoing shifting number, but we make sure that right now that we're budgeting at 1.2. And I think that's something that we can discuss as a policy to make sure that if there's a proper percentage that we'd like to see in there versus just an amount, we can come up with those and we can review other counties and what they have for cash balance reserves.
Just my thought is if we had an amount or a percentage of the fund that has to be reserved, I think an amount's probably where we're going to have to come to, but an amount that says you have to have at least this much in here for emergency standpoint. And what that number is, sounds like maybe $250,000. Maybe that's our number, and that's our 150,000.
And I think generally the reserves, I mean, that's kind of your bucket of money for emergencies or things that are unforeseen that come up that have to be taken care of, because we're the first people that have to respond to it. And, so we can't just sit there and wait for the state or the feds necessarily. So we've got to solve it and then make applications. So that's one of the, we just need to have a
If you're in
good
a
reserve.
disaster and you order resources, like let's say we have a task force, search and rescue task force come in because we're doing search and rescue for life safety. And that task force costs $1.2 million to come in and work for you. We got to pay that bill if we don't meet the threshold. That will put us over our threshold, but the new threshold we're going to get if they raise the cost per person is going to be a lot larger. And I think we need to, I just want you guys to be cognizant of that. And
What would be your,
you guys always do the best for me, and I don't want you to ever be blindsided by something that could come up in a disaster.
so is that kind of the inclination you would go based off their threshold? So 7 per person, is that where we get with
I think
the
that's a
reserve?
factor in it without a doubt. Plus, you got to remember the general fund is where we have the majority of our employees too. And then the other funds are restricted. So that's part of it. And then also what our operations cost, if we want to continue and have operations run for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever, those are all pieces of it too. It's going to be a balancing act with that, and we have to be careful.
The city of Augusta had a tornado 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They paid for 100% of that out of their budget.
Who did?
The city, of
Augusta.
that tornado they had down there that went through Augusta.
Any idea what they spent doing that?
It's in the,
I figured.
Yeah.
and it was 100% no state help with that tornado.
It's scary, but it's a reality that we gotta think
For
about.
sure, for sure. And
I think after last.
And we waited after the Chapman tornado, as bad as that was, we didn't qualify.
Right.
We waited 6 weeks, 8 weeks after the
And we-
tornado
yeah.
before the state and they made it a weather pattern
Yeah.
and opened it up for like 6 days and included other tornadoes, like Junction City had one, Manhattan had one, and a couple other people had them. And they got to put all those together and then they made the threshold. So it was a lot of work to do it, but we were on the hook for a while.
We absolutely were.
Quite a while.
Yeah. So there was a search and rescue that was there and we searched every house. And then we also had the cleanup and making sure we maintain that and then the debris removal. And that was just what the county did. The city had their own, the school had their own too. So.
And a lot of these grants that come out nowadays are matching fund type things, having a strong cash reserve
Well,
in all areas. You can build a bigger project.
and in Ottawa County, they have like, they're in the city of Tescott, they have the lumberyard, which is a bar and grill that supports that whole community. It's been open for a long time. And they flooded. They had 3 foot of water in it. They don't qualify for SBA loans there. That business will never open again now. It's going to close and never open. So that city of Tescott will have no business in it anymore. That's a big impact. So I just want you to be aware, I don't want anybody taken off guard. And I'll do what I can to get the problem fixed at the state and federal level. I'm going to fight for it because it's not fair how the smaller communities are treated. We just don't have that resource. We don't have the funding sources to take care of that kind of stuff. And it's ridiculous for the state and federal government to think that that's our job to do this.
Yeah.
Let's work on
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's been on Marcus and my radar for a while. We just,
Want to get through the budget, and then I'm like, oh yeah, now we're through the budget. It's time to, these policy questions. So I think that's a good idea and good timing for it.
Plans really don't have the money, other than they can
yeah.
Yeah, we can.
print new money.
Right, right. Depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my thought for you.
It was a good one. Thank you.
We're not so broke. Thanks to public, or support, keeping the county going.
Mhm.
Everybody can get an extra nickel.
Borrow from Woodbine.
Yeah, we got her. Community,
You're doing great now.
just conservative, don't spend what we don't need. Because again, a little cash in hand will help if you get matching funds of the same thing. You can go on and move forward, but gee, it's,
Fiscally, it just makes the most sense.
yeah.
Do we have any other comments from the crowd? Tim,
I don't.
come on up, Tim.
I would like to kind of like segue into what Chancey just talked about.
Sure.
And say that I went to recently the floodplain managers conference, and we talked about where the funding for like, let's say, flood mitigation grants and all that's going to be coming from now, how that's going to be impacted now that going forward with all these incidents that are happening. They said FEMA doesn't know. They said there's a strong possibility, though, that if you like want to do a flood mitigation grant or something like that, that the portion that we would have to match is going to increase potentially. So I see that's all they can tell you is that it's all kind of like up in the air. They want to keep FEMA in place. I think the administration wants to keep FEMA in place, but now how that's gonna, how much of the share that we have to, that each of the communities has to burden now as far as funding for different things or applying for different grants and things for help is going to be more and more problematic for communities. So just how we're kind of segue into what he was saying on that.
Yeah, let us know if that flood, if it does increase. It'd be good to know, Tim.
Yeah, especially with all the water we
I
have.
assume
in
that's
Dickinson.
would be a next year announcement, I assume is when
Probably. they'll make
well, I guess we'll find out. They're going through budget right now, aren't they?
We gotta get through that, yeah.
Shut down. See how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay,
We can take a break and.
why don't we
let's-
take a quick break until 11. We'll resume our regular meeting. Well, 35-minute break here. Thank you all.
Jennifer, Jill's coming for the proclamation, right?
Somebody is, I don't know who.
Probably Jill and Megan is gonna be my guest.
Okay. Good.
Somebody's coming. I told them.
Just have more people come in during the study sessions. I don't know what kind of discussion we're gonna have.
Yeah. Today kind of involved.
Yes, it is, but it's been good. Thank you, Megan.
Anytime I send something to the owner, it ends up getting kicked back to me.
Yeah. Neither the other guy. Do it. What do you think you need to do with that?
Well, I like it if he big, because it's too small.
When you confronted him with it, what's his response?
Oh,
Leave me
he's,
alone?
yeah, basically, you told me this, and you said this, well, he switched me what I said. I told him, I said, one time, initially I said, it shows, it looks like you're showing progress in removing them, because he's supposedly moving them to another lot.
But he has.
But he hasn't, I mean, he
Or is he
maybe,
filling both lots?
he's filling both lots, basically. And so I just, I know you're friends with the guy that's sending a complaint and all this kind of stuff. I said, I had to respond to the guy that's complaining. I said, this is what. Anyway, but it's just something to think about. I don't know where we're going to go. You know, it's going to be hard to get hold of. These kind of things are hard to resolve.
Don't think you have to get to the leader, the owner,
You know,
and say that, okay, you got too many pigs here,
yeah,
so we're going to have to get the numbers down to X. And he'll say, well, that's not mine, but the property is yours.
yeah.
So it's yours. You can't just simply say that, it's his responsibility. He's there. It's both ways.
I'll figure something. I figure, and I'll let you know what I'm.
Okay.
I may end up trying to send them another. I may try to physically try to find them down there, because I know that somebody said the neighbor that complains that this guy lives across the street. But even though his address is actually a P.O. box somewhere else. I'll probably pay it.
Okay. Sure.
Just kind of letting you know.
All right, something comes up.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Got about 30 minutes.
That's 30 minutes break. How you doing, Ron?
I'm doing good, Tim. How are you doing?
All right.
Good. Everything working out okay for you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Well, I read in the paper about the paper about the power plant now. They want to come to Kansas.
Yeah,
Not interesting.
yeah. Yep. I know Saline County, we're dealing with somebody that wants to come in and put a battery energy storage facility there.
Is that right?
Yeah. And the public is up in arms about it, which they should be, because it's a new technology that's really untested, except in
Sure.
other parts of the country that have stricter regulations on it or something. But I said, so
Yeah.
we've had to kind of shore up, Saline County's had to shore up their regulations.
Sure.
So that it's more.
Yeah. How's the remodeling doing on your house?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay,
Going good,
going
going
good.
good, almost done.
Yeah.
Just finishing up the painting and he'll be done.
Well, that's a job and a half, isn't it?
Yes,
I mean,
especially when you got a stairwell that's 10 times taller than I am.
yeah. Sometimes that's best for those professionals, Tim.
Yeah.
They can come in and then get it and wipe it out real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah. Lynn, how's things going for you?
Pretty well.
Good, good.
We get a lot of stuff done all at once.
Yes.
Plenty to do.
And it seems like all the time in there.
You're gonna buy a new one, huh?
What kind of wonder what happened to the old one?
We'll probably look somewhere and show up.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Somebody's got it in their office or something.
Someone put it away. Sure they look for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get fingerprinted, so
I think I'm good.
this right index.
I'll be darned. I'll be darned. Probably, maybe you already have it, Lynn. I don't know. I don't think I've been in trouble for a while, so.
It's locked, but Kia, but
Are you Natalie? Okay, I'm Debbie. I met you the other night, I think.
The forum?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay. I'm trying to put the name and the face together.
So I am too. I've got a lot of people to learn.
Oh, I understand. How do you think the forum went?
Good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah,
I was very
Good.
engaged. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was very good.
Yeah, good. It's the first one I had
Very
attended
chamberlains.
myself, so I think it went well.
It was good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
so that's when I was chairman. I guess
Oh.
it says chairman on it, maybe.
I'll be darned.
Some, but
Well, give them back to them. What you think, you guys?
Well, I
I mean,
think,
don't do anything to the door there.
I think they wonder if, see, that says county commissioner, they only have says chairman. Yeah, so I think it's. There's this. Something in there, that's what it is.
There's probably a collection box to pay for it.
this one has commissioner. Oh, see, this just says commissioner and the other says county commissioner.
Between
Oh,
here and here. So study session is pretty much over and they'll start the regular session at straight over.
Okay, I must have got my times wrong.
So 9:30 is when the study session starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, they ought to get that too.
Well, yeah, I mean, then we could sit in the floor and
Start a fire with it or something.
he earned it and all you guys earn it, so.
This is going over budget on drawers and shelves.
And more that, well. Yeah, a lot of room.
We sold my grandmother's house. They had me go upstairs and all. Look, yeah.
Kind of sad time.
And I said, well, what about nothing? Oh, nothing's up there. And I opened up there and I found 2 or 3 things.
Yes.
It's like, well, nobody made these. My uncle, he said, no, I want that. It's valuable.
Well, sure. Here's my little Wickham project that I'm moving. It's just that piece of recreation ground
Mm-hmm.
that we've got 3 or 4 people interested. Some of the out of the Cape County in that area. But
Mm-hmm. To buy it or to
buy it.
have that?
No, I don't want to mess with that next. I did the access stuff for 10 years and stuff. And
That's in Riley County.
mhm. Yeah, it's in Park County. It's right next to Raleigh.
Yeah. I'm sure that was appreciated a lot.
Are you getting settled in?
It's a-
Yeah, it's gonna take.
Yeah.
Works and everything and.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess it could be vastly different from same position between one place and another place.
It is.
Yeah. Different people, different projects, yeah,
Different priorities.
different cultures. Places that are different, yeah.
How do you,
So I worked there, back in the, I guess it was the early to mid 90s. And I looked at that at the time. We were always one of those places that once you've been there for generations.
I think that's changed that. People tell me, well, I'm not from there, so I've been there for years.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
a lot of new people that are driving things that aren't from there that are making things happen.
Oh, okay.
So it's, they
Okay.
tell me that in the last probably about 5-10 years, it's vastly different than it's ever been.
That's interesting.
They're great.
Lynn Peterson.
I'm Natalie Morado. Nice to meet you. Yeah,
Well, formerly named, I guess, or.
I apologize. I think I got my times wrong. I had the CEO, keto program with the kids this morning. I guess I was supposed to attend that meeting at 9:30 and I thought I was supposed to be here at 10:30. So I apologize if I missed the work session.
Oh, well,
But
it's a work session, so you'll be here at the other, so.
yeah, but I thought I'd come and just kind of listen and pay attention. So
Good.
thanks for supporting us and continuing to support us. So hopefully I can do some good work.
Well, we expect that.
Okay. Sounds good. And you're Mr.
Excuse me, Natalie.
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure what procedure is. Every county has their own.
I'm wrong. You
Right,
probably
nice
know
to meet you.
a friend of mine,
Julie?
Julie.
Oh, is she? Yeah. I'm really excited to get to work with her, so.
Well, watch
We all want to.
her.
So you from here? Where do you live?
I lived in Abilene before, and so my district is the city of Abilene.
Okay.
And so we, population wise, we kind of like that.
Mhm.
So, somewhat equal. But I grew up in Salina,
Okay.
so,
And what did you do or used to do?
I had a monument company, family did in Salina.
Okay, very nice. Yes.
So Memorial Arch, we do cemetery work. Of course, you can place down there a couple of.
Yeah, I know Old Monuments is sold out, or I think it was Rundle, yeah, and then I've worked with MasterCard before, so yeah, I'm very familiar.
So we had an office here in Abilene, so back in 1976, I came here and started working out of Abilene.
Okay. Is it still in existence or did you sell it?
Well, so when it got to third generation, there was 20 years age difference, and we sold the. And so then I kept the Abilene location and opened up my new company. And so Peterson Fund here, so that's kind of been my.
Great, necessary service.
Well, and then a little more of the place out of these for a few families. Anyway, there's always a lot to do, but I've been on the city commission and now on the county commission.
Well, thank you for your service.
Sure.
Appreciate that, both of you.
Well,
Thank
nice
you
to
very
meet you, and I guess you're having a reception tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Come enjoy some coffee and donuts with us. Yeah, we just kind of want to meet people and give them a chance to meet. I have a new office manager, Tommy, as well, so we're kind of all new there, learning as we go.
Oh, sure.
But excited to be here, excited to get to work, so,
Good.
yeah, thank you guys.
Good community, yeah.
Good, man.
Fine, fine.
Good.
So you're just looking for excitement about.
No, I have a cabin out of Redmond Lake.
Oh,
Sue and Jan and I do.
okay, well, I knew Jan did, so I
Yeah.
didn't know how that was divvied up or.
We're that Leonard LLC because we were born in Leonardville, Kansas.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, but I was just,
I didn't know that. I have relatives from Leonardville.
did you really, we were born in Manhattan. And we lived in Manhattan.
Okay, so the lake moved
That
everybody
way,
out of
that's
there.
why I can remember I was sitting there from the going with my dad, and I could see his fields and the water.
So where are you from?
Coming up, so,
Yeah.
I worked in.
anyway, I just.
Hey, how are you? Good, how you doing?
Okay.
How are you doing?
Doing fine. How you getting along?
I'm doing good, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just doing good, yeah.
See ya.
Good to see you too. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Not if you have certain standards.
Yes, yes.
That's right, Bobby.
Yes.
Right. I think have to wait till.
My family, my parents were born here in Kansas. Actually, my mom was born. My dad got a job as a government, so they lived in a lot. And they lived in two places in South Dakota, but before I was born, Sioux Falls.
Well, yeah, a lot of times it's kind of routine.
Yeah, my dad worked for the Indian Service.
Oh, my God.
And then
Did you have the agenda, center, meeting? No, I didn't know, what you said, you were over the.
Oh, no, I have not heard back from the sheriff. I don't follow it.
Okay.
You've got your meeting in 2 weeks.
Right, but I said something to him. That's fine, but I wanted to make sure that. Sure. You want to probably just come down. I said, don't just. Your schedule. Did this.
13. Let me look at what I've got.
At 10 o'clock.
15 to 10 and Joe.
Yes, so I do that and very much needed. It is very much needed.
Okay.
So, yeah, I do that and I do politics and volunteer work on the side, so.
Yeah, I'll just,
I try to be,
Okay.
and I try to
Yeah,
do
we had one out there years ago.
just one thing because I want to get more than, you know.
let me follow up with Jerry too.
Sure.
One after another.
Find out what his,
And your backup will be, if you need to stay here, you can do.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, When I worked at the mental health center, it was just like a cattle in, cattle out, and I needed
So anyway, so we didn't have it.
life, so that's why I just kind of work part-time in my therapy and I do, other stuff. And a large part, I do a lot of individual work, and then I also do a large part of my practice is I work with domestic violence offenders. Contracts with,
When I first got to town,
community corrections over in
they were real
Salina.
fixer-uppers.
Yeah, so, that
Oh,
keeps
yeah.
really working.
And just a lot.
We have a really good program to use, and if they invest it all, they can get something out of it. I get it. How do I be a better wife, So, it has an opportunity to change lives. And I asked my friend, she helped me start that particular program. And I said, why do you want to work with offenders? And she said the most profound thing. And she said, we only work with victims, nothing will ever change. And I'm like, it's so profound.
Guys getting rain this morning on your way?
Maybe they just have what they.
The ground wet.
That's all we have.
And,
A lot of them, probably.
Yeah.
two vote.
But then there's that, a lot of that because a lot of trauma in their background.
Right.
Not necessarily, well, and they just.
I don't have it, I've got it.
Oh, dude.
If we can try to heal
Well,
that stuff as well as it's guiding.
Yeah,
Or sounds like some-
They haven't been doing it, so, yeah, and the fellows, I only work hard at it, the fellows seem to really like my program, that's for the most part. So, yeah. So I mostly work in the afternoons and evenings.
Pretty good.
Well, anyway.
Well, back when I worked at Site Center, I worked for the radio station.
Oh, doing good.
You see why? Yeah.
Yeah, there's times
Yeah,
where.
they added KFR shortly after.
Well,
Well, a little bit before I left, but,
Curry and Colin and Philly were all brought there and take naps. They said
Get a bunch of stores.
they.
I don't know.
do you have a time that I could meet with you? I'd asked you that earlier and now I wanted to see if you
Yeah.
had like an
Um,
hour sometime.
we should be done today. We could go. Do you have lunch plans?
Not really. I mean, I just need to take
It's up
my
to you.
dog out, but,
It's up to you.
yeah, that's
I can
fine.
do that before I go back to work.
That's fine.
So why don't we just do right after the
Okay,
session? We'll go grab something to eat.
okay, that sounds good.
This isn't that important, but the time is there.
Thank you.
Some people would rather know than.
Well, yeah, I'm not as perfect as I might appear, so, but I am, it's okay. I served in the military, so so they correct people, but. Yeah, thanks then. But yeah, so today, I want to probably stop and get my notebook, but
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that, yeah,
Yeah, no problem.
yeah.
If you, would you plan on being here all the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just get started.
Yeah.
Yep, let's do that. Good morning.
The CEO program, I forgot about this morning.
Uh-oh,
I said that on the board. I'm here now.
no problem. I was wondering, but I figured you were busy.
Thank you.
You're busy. Yep.
How was that program going?
Good, I guess, I'm just. I saw that. But no, it's great. It looks like I'm very interested.
Yeah.
To learn more, that's why I'm there today. Yeah. I do the day concept.
Yeah.
Pass, yes, so that's
Yeah. Small business.
redacted.
I avoided opening up my own practice for a long
Makes it
time.
easier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
More of the social science
That way
skill
people.
set, not the transactional skill set. And so really,
You already have two of those in there.
will hold my hand through. I'm still not sure if I'm great at that, but But like.
I was gonna have you do two, so we keep one and we give one.
Yeah, there's four.
Really, that's
Okay.
why, if I had known that a lot earlier.
There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Copy of that.
Yep, I got it all. Thank you, though.
I just looked in here with the.
Yep, you're good to go. I didn't even know if we need to sign it. Oh, I know we gotta accept it.
Here's your form. Right there.
See that? What she's here for.
In jail.
Wrong got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Hi, Jill.
Thank you, copying.
Thank you.
Oh, I want you can sign the report and what I gave you.
We'll do that.
Take these other ones out.
You just layer.
Did you already sign them?
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. These ones?
Oh, it's there was four, I think.
Yeah, because I put some in, you put some in, so.
We did.
Like our phone cover.
I think I did sign.
Yeah, those are. I think it does sign it. Oh, the fix this one. Tell us I'm not needing. As far as I know, it's trash. Because I have everything else.
That was
Okay.
actually, yeah.
Sent
I
one.
assume one of these was for the recipient, but
Oh, is that what it was?
I assume it's,
Yeah.
there was two in there.
Yeah. It's on there.
Most people like to keep those, don't they?
It was a good, I was talking about it. If everybody sign in.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
And I think that's all.
And that's-
So,
One of these, I gave you one of these to sign. Did you have that?
Yeah. I signed them in the packet.
that's all.
Should be in there.
Uh,
I guess this is probably his to use, but I signed it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, that's the original.
We'll leave it right here.
Okay. If you want, sure, see on that one.
Sure. Yeah, I don't need to look at it. I'll look at it, so.
Yeah, it's the one they brought.
Yeah, love that pen rest.
Yeah.
Could you email me a copy of that when you're done?
Yep.
So then I can do it.
Yep, I'll get it right to you. Thank you for seeing.
I call this meeting to order, if we'd all rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving down to the approval agenda, you will find we have a proclamation today declaring National 4-H Week. We also have the acceptance of the resignation of Logan Township Clerk. Consider hearing date to vacate portion of road on Cheever Township, and consider the CUP or conditional use permit 25-03. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving to consent agenda, the minutes are provided for you in your packets, Commissioner, for September 25th meeting. Expenditures of $468,762.65. Hand checks of $570.84. Indigent defense, $17,400. SD security, $4,617. And utilities of $14,020.62. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Seconded. All those,
I'll second it. You second it.
Ron seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving down to Commissioner comments and committee reports. Let's start on the other end with Ron today.
I did spend some time this last week in Junction City at the detention center. They're a little bit empty right now, but they always expect more problems with the youth. So they're keeping pretty busy that way and things are going well. That's where I've been.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
Lynn? Okay.
Last Friday, I attended the Gold Star Monument dedication over at Fort Riley. I actually had the honor of designing the monument and placing it in advance and such. So I wanted to attend, but along with that, it was the purpose honoring and remembering those Gold Star families. And Senator Roger Marshall was there and gave remarks. Major General Monty Roan, who was the commanding general of the 1st Infantry Division, gave remarks. And then also one of the Gold Star widows got up and told about her husband and things about his life. So there was a lot to that, and very well attended. Any of you that are familiar with Fort Riley, they know how to put a ceremony on. Everything is precise and exact, and they even had a rehearsal the day before just to go walk through everything. The other thing I have on a personal note, I was going to share yesterday, I sold my business, and I've been doing this over 50 years. And I entered a contract, and the new owners, they may put up a sign today or tomorrow, but it's the newest business in Dickinson County, and I want to welcome them. It's LeDuc Memorial Design. They have a business, they're family owned up in Concordia, and they've done tremendous work throughout the state. And so I'm going to help some with transition, but also will have a lot of responsibilities and time that I'm relieved of. And so I did want to share that. Thank you.
Congrats. We had our first Dickinson County Economic Development Executive meeting yesterday. Natalie is here in the crowd. I'd love to recognize our new CEO of the DKEDC, Natalie Morato. Thank you for joining today. I thought it was a great meeting. Very excited about the future. So it's a great start. We will have our first board meeting on the 20th. So we are back and running and we're going. So I just wanted to give that announcement, and if we could all wish Natalie a good job, and we'll see where we go. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Now we got our proclamation. Jill, would you like to come up and present that to us?
Absolutely. I think you have the copies of it. I'm Jill Martinson, for Chief Development Agent with K-State Extension, Chisholm Trail Extension District. And I would like to introduce our other two agents because they are definitely, one of them is very new to us, and the other one has not been here for a whole year. So we have Rodney Denholm, who is our Family Resource Management Agent. And then we have Amanda Lindahl, who is our family and community wellness agent. Did I get that right? Okay, yes. Okay, so I have to make sure I have the titles right. But yes, so they are both doing great work in filling positions that our office and the district has found most needed, most necessary. Ronnie is picking up all of our senior health insurance counseling, which is an important service that we provide to a lot of our seniors throughout the district, as well as VITA, which is the volunteer tax assistance for prep assistance, helping people file taxes free of charge. So those are two important responsibilities that he has. And Amanda has a whole lot of things with a ton of experience. She is a former Dickinson County 4-H'er. She's a Chapman High School graduate, and she's coming back to us. So we're very glad to have her back, and with the expertise that she brings, which is in both health, nutrition, wellness, and community gardens, which is key for the amount of gardens we have going in our district right now. So anyway, very happy to have both of them here and have them join us for the declaring National 4-H Week. So every year nationally, there is a week designated to recognize the work of 4-H throughout the nation and throughout the world. It is the nation's largest youth serving organization. And here in Dickinson County, we have a large 4-H involvement with lots of youth and volunteers, as well as outreach within the school and libraries and rec centers and any place that you can get information to kids and families. So you have the proclamation, and I would be glad to read it if you'd like me to.
Totally up to you.
Okay, I can read it.
We typically allow you to read the proclamation if you'd like.
Great. Can I take one of the copies?
Yeah, absolutely.
I handed you all my copies. Sorry, I do not have it memorized. Okay, this is the 2025 Dickinson County 4-H Week proclamation by the Board of Commissioners of Dickinson County, Kansas. Whereas this year's National 4-H Week theme, Beyond Ready, reminds us that 4-H is building a ready generation in a world of change and equips young people with skills for the future while meeting them where they are today. Whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, supporting 6 million youth across the country, and whereas 4-H programs are delivered by the Cooperative Extension a community of more than 100 public land-grant colleges and universities across the nation that provides experiences for young people to learn by doing. Whereas 4-H is in every city and county in the United States and helps 6 million youth become engaged, successful, and independent. And whereas 4-H connects young people and adults to their communities, preparing them for work and life through experiential and inquiry-based learning while providing emerging research for positive youth development. And whereas expanding from its strong agricultural roots, 4-H helps young people explore the world around them and grow into productive adults. And whereas supporting future leaders in science, agriculture, and community leadership is an important imperative for U.S. Department of Agriculture National Institute of Food and Agriculture 4-H program. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Dickinson County, do hereby proclaim October 5 through 11, 2025 as Dickinson County 4-H Week and encourage all our citizens to recognize 4-H for the significant impact it has made and continues to make by empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime.
Thank you. Goes without saying, 4-H was a big part of my childhood. Believe it or not, I wasn't actually in 4-H, I was in FFA, but I felt like I had a lot of friends in 4-H and I helped them with their animals, so kind of felt like I was in it too. But it's an amazing program. I think everyone knows that here, but just want to say it, record. Absolutely love it.
We appreciate your support, absolutely. And I did bring a couple of just presentations that I'll leave with you that give some information about our summer programming this past summer, where we reached over 1,400 kids throughout the district, so Dickinson and Marion counties, with 40-some programs that were done in libraries and rec centers and community centers in helping to give kids that hands-on experience with learning. And I've also given you, since you have a vested interest in our two fairs, Tri-County and the Central Kansas Free Fair, I've given you some numbers as far as numbers of participants and numbers of entries, those types of things. So I will leave that. But I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about 4-H, especially here in Dickinson County, or for Amanda or Rodney, if you have anything for them.
Well, I greatly appreciate what you folks do here. And sometimes when I have visited with people from other counties, they will talk about how in Dickinson County, how outstanding it is and the high level of participants. And I know much of that has to do with you folks but the volunteers that you find and families you could probably expand on that a little bit better than what I.
Absolutely. Dickinson County has a very rich tradition of volunteers and people who are really vested in helping our young people. So that's where a lot of the success of the county program really stands, is that there's a lot of people who take individual initiative and responsibility for making sure that programs happen. So when you see the Central Kansas Street Fair, know that there's almost 100 superintendents for those divisions that help make those things happen. What we do in our office is a lot of the back organizational part and making sure they have what they need, but they're the ones who are there doing the work. So when you're out there and it looks like everything's going great, know that that's not just our office. Like we do a whole bunch of it behind the scenes, but it's those people who take responsibility for really making sure that things happen. So, and we
lots of
all that work.
Lots of 4-Hers.
Yes.
I mean.
Yes, we've also had some fantastic community support and dollars that have been brought into both the 4-H program and allowing kids to do more, to attend state and national events at a cost that doesn't prohibit that for them, as well as county 4-H camp. So we have definitely dollars from the community that are coming into supporting that and expanding opportunities there, as well as on the fairgrounds. I'm sure you've noticed that we've had some additions of new barns, new pens, things that are really upgrading and making that a safer facility for our kids and for livestock that's coming in there. So if you haven't been around lately, Barn 9 is no longer there. It is being replaced completely, so it's completely gone. And will be replaced with something that we hope serves us a whole lot better and doesn't smell like old goods.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, would you like to do?
Yeah, do you want to do your motion? Did you do your motion?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay, do your motion, then we'll.
She's right.
Robert's rules.
We're getting ahead of the cart before the horse here. Do I hear a motion to proclaim October 5th through the 11th to be 4-H week in Dickinson County? So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you for your coaching. Okay.
You're the camera guy. Just behind me.
So there's this picture.
Thank you.
I don't think they brought it up with them, no.
You want to hold it up?
You want to hold it?
Sure.
What's next? Cover up with it.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice to. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Congrats on the retirement. Special. Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. You bet.
Did we have to sign two copies? I take it. Oh, yes. Oh, Amanda. It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you all. Okay, we'll go ahead and move to the next order of business, which is the public comment section. If we'd have County Administrator John Dockendorf read the rules first.
Commissioners, per the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During the regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address, and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
For the record, I asked Janelle if she did not want to speak today. So I'm not forcing her to do this. I want everyone, the commission didn't force her, so I just want to, know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle. Do we have any public comments?
I don't see anybody online.
Okay. Let me go ahead and move us on then. No introduction resolutions, no unfinished business, moving down to other business. First order of business, we got a letter from the Logan Township Clerk.
Do you want county reports, county officer
Oh
reports?
my gosh, you're right. Yes, I do want county officer reports.
Okay.
Keep doing
Unless you don't want to hear me talk.
No, I don't know why I keep skipping that city in my brain.
Okay, don't worry
I
about
did
it.
it last week too.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Free cleanup week is this week, as you know, and it is progressing very well. We'll have hard numbers next week. So we've received a lot of tires too, just FYI, but it's going very well and they're working hard at that at the environmental services or the transfer station. And as you heard from Lisa earlier during the study session, they're out reviewing sales and building permits, and we had some really good news. 319, I think, building permits in the county, between the county and the city. So that's excellent. So we're going to get some more information for you on that as to new people moving in or not. The emergency communications director is working with the new software, the comms coach that you had approved earlier this year. So we had a meeting with our dispatch staff yesterday, and they're excited about that. That's going to help with training as well as quality assurance. We do have 2 open positions in dispatch, and she's held some interviews. We have an offer out, and we're waiting to hear back on that. Last week, we told you that the structure at 945 3400 Avenue was being replaced. It was a bridge, and we were able to reduce the opening down to a structure size, so it is now open, but they are now installing a structure in the 2000 block of 2000 Avenue. The 800 communications tower, the work has been completed on the north tower, so the antennas are installed, the generators there, the propane tank. We'll have to set up a generator test. We still need to have TBS come in and do some additional work on that, but that'll be up and running. So by the end of this month, maybe sooner, the middle of this month, the north tower will be up and running for the communication system. As for the south tower, they have got the concrete poured. We've got to let it cure. Then we'll get the shelter set and then run through the next step with the testing and get the generator up and running and that. So by the end of November, both of the towers should be up and running, which will help tremendously. As we'd reported earlier, L&M Construction still plans to start the bridge construction at 1160 1100 Avenue Bridge at the end of October. Sorry, Kay. And then, I know, and that's, I believe, 120-day working days on that bridge. So, and then Reese Construction should start the bridge construction at 345 Rain Road this month. That's one of the 3 that you had approved earlier for replacement. And then we submitted the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. So that was done actually last year. And what that is funding of $240,000. And what we're going to do is create a safety action plan where we can apply for federal funding, depending on how that goes, to help with other road improvements throughout the county. So our share, it's $240,000, 192 of them is federal funding. 36,000 would be ours, and we do have a grant coming in from the state of Kansas to help offset that. So as that progresses, then we'll go through it. It's a long drawn out process, quite frankly. So, and that's all I would have unless you have any questions for me.
I do have one question. So when the towers get up, just so the public knows, when will we get on the new 800 radio system?
As soon as they're up and running. So,
They're up and running?
yep, the radios will have to be reprogrammed. They've already been programmed, but we'll have to go back in and do some more programming on that. But as soon as they're up and running, then we'll be attached.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? All right. right, County Councilor Doug Thompson, do you have a report today?
No, nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any notices or communications from County Clerk Jennifer Gate?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Sorry I skipped y'all, didn't mean to. I did that last week too, so. Okay, now we are ready to review the resignation of Logan Township Clerk as provided for you guys. I think this one's pretty straightforward. He is no longer going to do the job, so I think it's
And typically we'll get a resignation on something like this and the township follows up
Right,
with a suggestion for.
to fill the position. And that's not been received yet. Nope.
If anybody in the Navarre area knows
Logan
anybody,
Township area.
yeah, well, it's Navarre's in Logan. If anybody's in that area and is interested in being a township clerk, please let your township know.
Raise your hand.
I would motion to accept the resignation of Logan Township Clerk.
Second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next order of business is to consider a hearing date to vacate a portion of the road in Cheever Township between Jeep and Hawk Road on 3500 Avenue. We reviewed that this morning. It's a little under 2 miles of road. There's one residence. Obviously, they're going to keep the road to the residents and then vacate the rest of the road. This is merely setting the hearing date. Do we need to have a date in this motion?
November the 6th.
November the 6th.
That'll be, because we'll have to publish this in the newspaper.
Okay. So we would consider November 6th as a hearing date for the portion of road on Cheever Township between Jeep and Foster Road on 3500 Avenue. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that motion. Any more discussion, commissioners? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. You will let Cheever Township know, Janelle?
Yes.
Next is the conditional use permit 25-03, which is the establishment of retail ag seed facility located on the corner of Old 40 and Eden Road. If we'll have Tim come up and introduce that, and then if the property owner would like to say something, you're more than welcome to if you'd like.
Tim Hamilton, Planning and Zoning, Dickinson County. This is a conditional use permit we had talked about earlier this morning. The D&R Seed Company would like to establish a retail seed facility on the corner there near the corner of Old 40 and Eden Road. The Planning Commission did have a public hearing on this and voted 5-0 to approve the application following conditions. Any outdoor lighting be shielded or aimed away from any adjacent residential uses where driveway and lighting would be the exception. Consult with environmental services for any well and septic installation that might have to be incidental to this particular use. Address for this site must be assigned prior to operation. And that's something that I can do with the applicant tomorrow if you would like to swing by, and I can get with the mapping department and figure that out for you. Any additional construction, if anticipated, would require a building permit and facilities to sell seed only with no fertilizer or other product. If in the future the applicant does decide to expand the operation to include other services or products, such as fertilizer especially, then you just have to reapply for an amendment to this conditional use permit, and it would have to be go through another public hearing. Based on what was explained in the public hearing, I don't think that he's anticipating any expansion that way as far as fertilizer or anything. So the only other issue that came up at the public hearing was the condition of Eden Road. And I spoke with Trevor Martin of Lincoln Township, And he said that he didn't seem to have any issue with it. I sent him a notice saying to comment, and he called me, he said, I don't really have any comment on this, because he says, I don't think there's going to be a lot of very much truck traffic based on what the applicant had proposed. So in the event that there is an issue in the future, then that would be something that the township would enter into an agreement with the applicant to resolve that with a road maintenance agreement. But based on what's the comments that were submitted to me verbally by the township, seemed to be an issue for them. So for that, the applicant is here. Do you have any additional questions for him?
We talked about economic development, and you have a new director here, and this is a great example.
Yeah, it is.
The only question I had, it may not real relevant to this, but what brand of seed are you going to be marketing?
Mustang,
Okay, thank you.
based in Ottawa.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I assume these conditions are good by you in terms of the permit?
Yep.
Okay. I do not have any further questions, Tim, unless any commissioners do. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
I would move that we approve the conditional use permit 25-03 for the establishment of a retail ag seed facility located at the corner of Old 40 and Eden Road. And with the provisions that they have for the application. And I don't know if we could go over that. Well, he covered it actually.
Yeah, he covered it, so.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You have anything else?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, congrats. I'm excited.
Thank you for your.
You're just down the road from me. You're selling grass? Grass seed too? All right, fescue, stuff like that? All right. I'll be coming to see you. I need new overseeds, so. You're right next door, make it a lot
Now's the
easier than
time.
driving to Salina now.
Now's the time.
Yeah, it is. It is the time. Okay. I would
So when
motion-
will you actually be open then? Are you, your start
I
date?
think we're gonna close, what was it?
17th or the 20th of October.
Okay.
It's our closing date for the building, then we have an agreement with Mark, for him to get his stuff moved out, but we're gonna, as soon as we can get an address and close on it, we're gonna start moving forward.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
All right.
Thanks for investing in our community. I would motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.